I'd like you to think about a couple of questions. Have you ever had a thought that went something like, if I only had more time, I would be so much farther ahead? Have you ever wondered what is the best way to build a lucrative Monavie business in the shortest amount of time possible? If you answered yes to either of these questions, you're listening to the right training. I am Black Diamond Kathleen Degelman. Welcome to Time Management, How to Build a Massive Monavie Business Part-Time. Before we dive in, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge you for listening to this training. You've probably heard the famous quote, 80% of success is just showing up. There is so much truth to that. Consistent activity is the key to our business and to life, whether losing weight, raising kids, or becoming wealthy. You are dedicating your valuable time to your own learning and growth, and that is one of the key ingredients to success. In Monavie, we talk about read, listen, and participate. The people who do this, as you are doing right now by listening to this training, demonstrate a commitment to their success and are the people who make things happen. Our conversation today is about time management, so listening to this is a wise use of your time. Since we'll be spending the next few minutes together, let me tell you a bit about myself. When Monavie showed up in my life, I had been a successful real estate agent in San Francisco and had worked in corporate America for 20 years. That was 6 years ago. When I woke up on May 2nd, 2006, I had no idea that my life was about to change forever. I joined a conference call with a group of real estate investors that I met with weekly. On this particular day, one of my friends, Tina, was buzzing with excitement about a new product and a new business opportunity. After our conference, I called her right back and said, let's check this out together. I had no idea how my life would change from that decision forward. The opportunity couldn't have come at a better time for me. I had recently taken the leap from real estate agent to full-time real estate investor, and I had acquired numerous, as in many, properties around the United States. When I started looking ahead, though, I realized the economy was tanking and it was going to take my properties and me down with it. In all honesty, I was on track for financial ruin if I didn't change something quickly. I could have gone back to corporate America, but I had known for years that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to be a business owner. I wanted to be my own boss. I didn't want to go back to being a real estate agent either. I wanted to choose where and when I worked. I wanted financial freedom, and I wanted a different lifestyle. I wanted to own my own time. My journey into real estate began in the first place because I wanted to learn how to build wealth. I had been studying wealth building principles, going to seminars, and reading books like Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad and Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. When I was introduced to this opportunity, I had never heard of Monavie or the acai berry, the crown jewel ingredient, and Monavie was just 1 year old at that point. In fact, I knew absolutely nothing about the community commerce industry. I did understand, though, that in order to build wealth, I needed residual income and a business model with tremendous leverage. Monavie fit the bill, and I could see the opportunity potential right away. I am so glad I said yes to our wonderful juice products and to the business. My first week in Monavie, I set a goal to become a Black Diamond in 2 years. I look back at that and I giggle now because I didn't have a clue what that would look like. I was drawn, though, to that level of success, income, and lifestyle, and I went to work to make it happen. I am happy to say I achieved that goal in just under 2 years, 1 week to spare. I am also honored to say that I am the first and only single woman to achieve Black Diamond in Monavie's first 6 years of business. In the 6 years I have been part of this company, my life has transformed in every area, financially, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and although this came from left field, even romantically. Can you believe it? I met my husband at a Monavie event. I certainly wasn't expecting that. I don't know what the words time management conjure up in your mind. I know for some people it conjures up a desire to yawn and take a nap. It may sound like the title of a book you have no desire to pick up off the shelf. At one time in my life, it did that to me too. I'm here to tell you that time management is actually an exciting concept. It's the difference between calling your own shots and being a slave to circumstances. It's the difference between spending your days in a way that pleases you versus in a way you have to. It's a ticket to freedom and a ticket to wealth. In fact, the wealthiest people have mastered time management, and this is a big reason they are wealthy. Think about someone that inspires you. Whether it's Gandhi or Donald Trump, they have the same 24 hours in a day that you and I do. Nobody gets more time. It is about making the best use of the time that we all have. It is all about choices. I believe that we all have seeds of greatness in us, and mastering how you spend your time will bring out more greatness in you. Why is it that some people accomplish a great deal in their 24 hours and still have room for fun and leisure in there too, while other people are constantly running around with seemingly no time to spare, yet they accomplish hardly anything at all? What has the first group figured out that the second has not? They understand that you can't manage time, you can only manage how you use the time. And secondly, they understand the concept of leverage. Monavie is an amazing business because inherent in the business model is extreme leverage of your time. Our efforts are multiplied thousands of times over as we build our teams. What's even more phenomenal is that you can build a profitable business and set yourself financially free for the rest of your life part-time. So Monavie is taking care of the leverage part for us. The most significant tool in wealth building, leverage, was granted to each of us when we paid our $39 enrollment fee. It's the other piece of the puzzle that we are going to work on together today, managing yourself within time. A moment ago, I said you can build a profitable business and set yourself financially free for the rest of your life part-time. I want to make sure you are hearing that correctly. Monavie is a part-time business. It is not a sometimes business. The key to being successful in building your wealth on a part-time basis is being consistent and strategic with that part-time. Exactly how can you be strategic with your time? The first thing you must do to build a successful Monavie business is actually allocate a specific amount of time that you will dedicate to building your business. In my first year with Monavie, I spent on average 10 to 15 hours per week on the business. That brought me to Blue Diamond. In my second year, I spent 20 hours per week, and I reached Black Diamond by the end of that second year. Make a deliberate decision about how much time each week you will devote to Monavie. It may sound obvious, but don't glaze over this concept. It doesn't matter as much how much time you decide to dedicate to building your business. It is more important that you make the decision about how much time you will spend, honor your commitment, and be consistent every week. Would you accept a job in the corporate world and then just show up sometimes? Probably not, because of course you would get fired. You might arrange for a part-time position, but I'm guessing you would still show up for the time you committed to. You wouldn't accept the job in the first place if you weren't intending to fulfill on it. You either take the job or you don't. You are either in or you are out. This is why Randy Schrader says there is a slow way to build this business and it's painful, and there is a fast way to build our business and it's fun. Every Black Diamond I know in Monavie treated this opportunity like an important commitment in their life, and this is why they earn millions in just a few years, myself included. When I first started Monavie, I decided I would buy a bulk order of juice, I would spend some money on promotional tools to help me share the products and opportunity, and I would dedicate 10 to 15 hours per week to building this business. Knowing how much time I was going to dedicate ahead of time allowed me to structure that time so I could be productive. I set up one-on-one appointments with everyone I knew who could use better health or another stream of income, and I started hosting weekly home business reviews. This focus allowed me to become a star in my first week in business. I became a star 500 in my second week and consistently moved through the ranks as I stayed consistent with my time commitment. In 4 months, I reached the Ruby level, which meant I was earning an extra $100,000 annual income. Would you agree 4 months of part-time work in exchange for a $100,000 income stream is a pretty good deal? This was my experience. I don't know what yours will be. The beauty is that is up to you. So ask yourself, how much time each week will you devote to Monavie? 5 hours? 10 hours? 15 hours? You may be thinking, I would dedicate more time to it, but I just don't have any extra time. Again, we all have the same 24 hours a day. What you fill those hours with is how you manage your time. I'm not insensitive to having a full plate. Don't get me wrong. You may have many obligations and a tighter schedule than some other people. You may have kids, a job with long hours, volunteer responsibilities, and so on. You may be surprised to know that the people who tend to be the most successful in this business are the busy people. It's funny, a friend of mine told me a story that is a great example of why this is the case. She said in college she always kept a full schedule with 15 credits per semester. She also always got A's and a few B's. Then one semester she decided to take it easy and only enrolled with 9 credit hours. Logic might tell us that with all that extra time, earning A's would be even easier because she'd have more time to study. What happened, though, is that the extra slack in her schedule gave her more room to slack. She ended up getting 2 C's that semester for the first time in her college career. A slack schedule allows for slack actions. A busy schedule encourages action now and creativity for how to make things work. Busy people just get things done. There is certainly a time and a place for slack time, though. So if you're busy, don't think it won't work for you to do Monavie. Know that you are just like the diamonds and blue diamonds and black diamonds who have gone before you. There are 2 subtle differences, though, between the busy person who skyrockets to success and the busy person who runs around like a chicken with their head cut off. Firstly, the successful ones create dedicated time for their business, and secondly, they are productive with the time they do dedicate to their business. When I got started, I had a pretty full plate, so I decided to give up some things. I didn't host as many dinner parties, I wasn't as available for long phone conversations with friends, and I put real estate on hold. For most, giving up TV will open up an extra 10 hours plus a week. A friend of mine gave up American Idol for a season. Crown Black Diamond Steve and Gina Merritt took their kids out of sports for the year. They made an agreement with their kids that this temporary sacrifice would be well worth it when they dedicated this time to building a stronger future for their family. What are you going to eliminate or at least cut back on from your life to fit Monavie in? Will you cut back on your volunteer work? Give up watching TV in the evenings? Take out the things in your life that aren't serving you, that aren't pleasant, and/or that aren't adding to your personal bottom line. Run your life like a business. Finding time is like digging in your couch cushions for loose change. Get creative and think about where you can find some time where you thought you had none. If you create 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, you now have 10 focus hours for your Monavie business. Also, use the nooks and crannies. Make phone calls while you're sitting in your car waiting for your kids to be let out of school or while you are waiting for that appointment to show up. Review and update your candidate list while you are in the waiting room at the dentist's office or while you're on hold for 30 minutes with the cable company. So successful people create time to dedicate to their business. And as we talked about a moment ago, they are also productive with this time. It is easy to be busy but not productive. In this business, productive means you are spending your time on the top 4 business building, income generating activities. And those are, number 1, building your list. Number 2, contacting and inviting. Number 3, presenting the opportunity. Number 4, enrolling and getting a new person started. These 4 activities are the most critical to your business, so let's examine them for a moment.